Xi Jinping, President of China and General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party since 2012, is one of the most powerful political figures in the world. When he initiated an unprecedented third term in October 2022, he signaled something unthinkable just a generation ago, that he may plan to remain in power for life. This move has made him the first Chinese leader since Mao Zedong to hold such unchecked control over the People's Republic of China. But Xi's connection to Mao goes beyond ambition or ideology. It's deeply personal and historical. Xi Jinping was born on June 15, 1953, in Beijing. His father, Xi Zhongxun, was a veteran revolutionary and a close ally of Mao during the Chinese Communist Party's formative years. Xi Zhongxun played a key role in the CCP's legendary Long March in 1935, and later became vice premier. As a result, Xi Jinping was born into elite political privilege, what many call a princeling background. He was raised among China's political elite, attending exclusive schools and experiencing a level of comfort most Chinese never knew. But everything changed during the Cultural Revolution. In 1966, Mao launched a decade-long campaign of ideological purity and mass persecution. The Cultural Revolution turned the party against itself. Even Mao's closest allies were not safe, including Xi Zhongxun. He was denounced and imprisoned. The Xi family's home was ransacked, and young Xi Jinping was publicly humiliated. At just 15 years old, Xi was sent to a remote village in Shaanxi province as part of Mao's re-education campaign. There he lived in a cave house, hauled buckets of water, cleaned toilets, and worked the fields alongside peasants. It was a life far removed from the halls of power in Beijing. Yet this time in the countryside forged something deeper in Xi. A hunger for control, a dislike of chaos, and a deep understanding of how quickly power can be stripped away. These experiences would later inform his own political style, one defined by control, loyalty, and the suppression of dissent. After Mao's death in 1976, China entered a new era under Deng Xiaoping, who introduced economic reforms and tried to prevent another one-man dictatorship. Xi Jinping's political career began during this transitional period. He re-entered society as a rehabilitated princeling and used his family's restored status to quietly climb the political ladder. He started from the bottom, serving in low-level roles in Hebei, then progressively moving to more influential positions in Fujian, Zhejiang, and eventually Shanghai. In Fujian, where he spent over 17 years, Xi built a reputation as pragmatic and anti-corruption-minded. He supported foreign investment and was viewed as stable, diligent, and competent. In Zhejiang, he honed this image even further, becoming known for cracking down on official corruption and encouraging economic growth. These roles positioned him as a quiet but capable leader. In 2007, Xi was unexpectedly appointed Party Secretary of Shanghai, a top-tier role. Just months later, he was elevated to the Politburo Standing Committee, China's highest governing body. It was this moment that marked Xi as a future national leader, though few realized at the time how far he would go. When Xi Jinping officially took power in 2012, many saw him as a compromise candidate, someone who could balance the party's powerful factions without threatening the collective leadership model established after Mao. But what happened next surprised everyone. Xi quickly began consolidating power. One of his first major moves was launching a massive anti-corruption campaign that swept across all levels of Chinese government. Branded as a fight against both tigers and flies, the campaign led to the arrest and punishment of over 1 million officials. While it certainly targeted genuine corruption, the campaign also had another purpose. It eliminated political rivals and instilled fear across the party. Among those purged were top-level figures like Zhou Yongkang, a former Politburo member and head of the powerful security apparatus. This was unprecedented. No Politburo Standing Committee member had ever been publicly tried and convicted before. Xi was sending a clear message. No one was untouchable. He pulled from Mao's playbook, surrounding himself with trusted allies, reshaping institutions in his image, and removing those who could threaten his authority. In doing so, Xi dismantled the system of collective leadership that Deng Xiaoping had put in place to avoid another dictator. By 2016, he had been designated as the core of the Communist Party's leadership, a symbolic but significant title that placed him above his peers. In 2018, term limits for the presidency were abolished, paving the way for him to rule indefinitely. In October 2022, Xi began an unprecedented third term as General Secretary. The leadership around him, both in the party and the military, was now stacked with loyalists. Those who had expressed dissent were gone, either sidelined or punished. Xi had completed the transformation, from a princeling who survived the Cultural Revolution, to a singular figure wielding more power than any leader in modern Chinese history. But Xi's rule hasn't been without controversy or consequences. One of his most ambitious ideological projects is the so-called Chinese Dream, a nationalist vision of China's rejuvenation as a strong, respected global power. Under his leadership, China launched the Belt and Road Initiative, pouring billions into infrastructure projects across Asia, Africa, and Europe. It's not just economic, it's strategic. It's China expanding its sphere of influence while challenging Western-led institutions. Domestically, Xi's rule has been marked by significant developments. The state has enhanced public safety. Advanced technology now aids in urban management. The internet infrastructure has been expanded, and Hong Kong has seen increased integration with the mainland. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Xi's zero-COVID policy became a symbol of rigid state control. Entire cities were locked down, often for weeks or months. The government ensured the distribution of essential supplies to affected areas. Xi's leadership was praised for its decisive action during the crisis. Through it all, Xi has maintained a strong cult of personality. State media refer to him as the helmsman, a term once reserved for Mao. His speeches are studied in universities and party meetings. The message is clear: Xi is the party, and the party is China. Xi Jinping's rise represents a pivotal shift in Chinese politics, from technocratic governance and shared leadership to ideological control and personal rule. His vision for China is not just about economic power, it's about national strength, global influence, and centralized authority. Whether Xi remains in power for another decade or longer, his leadership has already reshaped China and its relationship with the world. For better or worse, the era of Xi Jinping is here, and it's not ending anytime soon. If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. What do you think Xi Jinping's leadership means for the future of China and the world? Let's start a conversation. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.